Tens of thousands of Muslims have taken over Times Square in a show of force to do a mass-scale public prayer.
أنزل إليه من ربه والمؤمنون كل آمن بالله وملائكته وكتبه ورسله لا نفرق بين أحد من رسله وقالوا سمعنا وأطعنا غفرانك ربنا لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله. Okay. مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم.
So what you are looking at is a city that has fallen. And I'm being very clear about the fact that New York City is a fallen city. This is a city that is now run by Zohran Mamdani, the socialist Muslim mayor of New York City right now, who is basically stacking the leadership of New York City with people just like him. They just had some event in the governor's mansion where they had, Muslims like praying and all of this other stuff. And you have to understand what this is. This is a show of force. This is people saying that we have come here based on the terrible immigration policies, of the United States of America over the past 40 years. Now we are here. We have had multiple babies, by the way, while Americans have, swallowed up the propaganda whole that you should be having babies. No, the people that we've imported into this country from the third world, they have lots of babies. All right. And so now what they're saying is, and this is a show of force, and do not take it as anything but a show of force. These people are not just practicing their religion. This is not something that is friendly. This is a show of force. And when you look at who is in that crowd, it is primarily young fighting age men, which is who we've been spending hundreds of billions of dollars of taxpayer dollars to import over here for the past 30, 40 years. So now they're here. So now this is what it is. And so you have one of the greatest cities in the history of this country, in the world, that has completely fallen to these people. And by the way, there's no turning back from this. You have to understand the toothpaste is out of the tube with New York City. People are still going to go there. It's still going to have Broadway and theater and culture and all that other stuff. But the New York City that we knew before no longer exists, okay? Because now immigrants are deciding elections in New York City. When you looked at some of the numbers, when it was between Zohran Mamdani and Andrew Cuomo, Mamdani won because of the immigrant population in New York City. When native-born citizens were polled, and when they did those numbers, native-born citizens went for Cuomo. So now we have created a socialist state of New York State. New York State is a socialist state. New York City is a socialist city that is spending millions, if not hundreds of millions of dollars on tax dollars, importing everybody from every third world backwards place on the planet there. And so now they're deciding our elections. And so I go back to my original point that New York City has now fallen. It is not a safe place to be in. I am personally done with that city for the long term. I'm done with it. I'm not living there. I'm not living there under this. Okay? And just having my way of life threatened by the possibility of a terror attack. Because, by the way, police services will be cut. The commissioner will be gutted and replaced. And whoever's running the NYPD at the highest levels will be people installed by Zohran Mamdani who have the same socialist leftist agenda. So now New Yorkers will become less safe. There will likely be a large-scale terror attack in New York City over the next 3, 5, 7 years. I can almost 100% guarantee you that this will happen. So New York has fallen. So the only thing that we can do now is to make sure that what happened in New York doesn't happen in any other American city.